They slammed her hands onto the hood of the patrol car as rain mixed with blood on the pavement. "You're under arrest for impersonating a United States Navy SEAL," the officer said coldly. She didn't argue. She didn't cry. She just whispered, "Call the Admiral." The crowd laughed. The officers smirked. And then a gray-haired man stepped forward, stared at the tattoo on her ribs, and said words that froze the entire base. "That tattoo's real. And only 6 people alive have earned it." They thought she was lying. What they didn't know was that she'd already survived things that would have broken every man in that room. The detention room smelled like disinfectant and old coffee. Fluorescent lights hummed above her head as if they were annoyed she existed. Her name was Elena Ward, and she sat with her wrists cuffed, shoulders straight, eyes calm in a way that made people uncomfortable. Calm like someone who'd already faced death and decided it wasn't scary anymore. The officers whispered behind the glass. A woman claiming she was a former Navy SEAL. Not support staff. Not intelligence. A SEAL. They'd heard everything before. Stolen valor was common, and usually pathetic. People wanted respect without earning it. People wanted the uniform without the cost. Elena didn't look like their idea of a SEAL. She was smaller. Quieter. Her hair was tied back with surgical precision, her face lined not with makeup but with scars you only noticed if you really looked. One on her jaw. Another faint line near her temple. "What unit were you with?" one officer asked, flipping through a clipboard. She answered without hesitation. "DevGru. Red Squadron. 2012 to 2019. Someone laughed. "Cute." She stared at the table. Not because she was ashamed. Because she was tired. They'd picked her up outside the naval base after she intervened in a bar fight. 2 drunk men cornering a young sailor. Elena had moved without thinking. 3 seconds later, one man was unconscious, crying on the floor. Witnesses said she moved like something trained. Too trained. When the MPs arrived, they saw the tattoo as she was restrained. Black ink, faded but unmistakable. A trident wrapped in numbers and coordinates. SEAL insignia placement. Exact spacing. Exact font. That's when the charge came. Impersonation. Elena finally spoke again. "I didn't pretend to be anything. I am what I am." They asked for discharge papers. She didn't have them. They asked for witnesses. She shook her head. Most of her team was dead. The room went quiet after that, but not in a respectful way. In an awkward, disbelieving way. Like someone telling a story that was too dramatic to be true. "You expect us to believe the Navy let a woman into DevGru," the officer said. She met his eyes for the first time. "No. I expect you to verify it." They didn't. Instead, they made the call. Not to verify her service, but to detain her longer. Until an example could be made. Outside, rain hammered the concrete. Elena closed her eyes and, for a moment, she wasn't in that room anymore. She was back underwater. Back in the dark. Back holding her breath while the world burned above her. And she wondered, not for the first time, if surviving had been the harder punishment. The moment the Admiral walked in, everything changed, but not because of who he was. Because of what he recognized. They brought her out in cuffs when the Admiral arrived. Full dress uniform. Medals heavy on his chest. A man who'd spent decades watching people lie to his face for promotions and praise. He didn't look at her face at first. He looked at her posture. Then her hands. Then, slowly, the tattoo. He stopped walking. The room followed his gaze, confused. Elena felt it too, the shift. The way air changes before a storm breaks. The Admiral stepped closer, ignoring the officers trying to explain. He crouched slightly, eyes narrowing, fingers hovering inches from her skin without touching. "That placement," he murmured. That scar pattern. He straightened and looked at her. Really looked. Where did you earn this? He asked quietly. Philippines, Elena said. Night insertion. Team of 5. Only 2 came out. The Admiral swallowed. The room was silent. That tattoo, he said slowly, turning to the officers, is only inked after mission completion. No photos. No records. No exceptions. He faced her again. I was the one who authorized that op. Cuffs came off immediately. No one spoke as the truth settled like weight on their chests. The disbelief. The shame. The realization that they hadn't just doubted her, they'd erased her. Later, in his office, Elena finally broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just a single tear she wiped away before it could fall. I didn't want recognition, she said. I just didn't want to be invisible. The Admiral nodded. The quiet ones never do. She left the base that night cleared, free, and still anonymous to the world. But something had shifted. Because the story spread. Not as a scandal. As a reminder. That courage doesn't always look like what we expect. That heroes don't always announce themselves. And that sometimes, the strongest people are the ones who stay silent until the truth speaks for them. Elena walked into the rain again, but this time, with her head high. She had never needed their permission to be who she was. And she never would. Final message for viewers. Before you judge someone's story, remember this. Some battles don't leave visible wounds. Some warriors don't wear uniforms anymore. And truth, real truth, doesn't need to shout. It waits.